Hey folks, and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Back for Blood. That's the game that we're looking at. Well, originally I thought that I'll actually be releasing this video this past week because this was originally supposed to be a part of my Shocktober videos based on horror games. So I did a couple of horror games like The Medium, and then I was actually looking forward to doing this game as well. But then the Guardians of the Galaxy came along, and I started playing that. I kind of almost completed it, and that took me away from this game. But coming back to this game, now this game, well, it takes up say about 34 gigabytes of your internal storage, and because this is a Series X and S game, it has to sit on your internal storage. So that's the amount of storage that you'd be parting with when it comes to playing this game. Now, this is an out-and-out horror game, and it's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter, and it's a very straightforward game. Now, it's not very story-driven, so it's not got that narrative storytelling element like the one that we saw with the Medium. But yeah, we do have cutscenes like this, like the one that you're watching. The cutscenes, I mean, they are, I mean, gory. So as you can see, there's a lot of blood since there are zombies involved in this. Of course, this game is all about zombies. So yeah, you will see a lot of action, a lot of gore, a lot of shooting. And the game is pretty straightforward, as I was saying. It follows you playing these various characters. You can choose from a bunch of 4 main characters. And you play them in a series of different acts. Now, you could say that these different acts at different levels or stages. So it's a pretty straightforward way of progressing through the game. So you complete an act and then you move over to the next act. And there are going to be slight storytelling elements like this. Of course, the cutscenes are not as heavy as this one because this is the opening scene. So I just wanted to show you everything, as we open the game. I wanted to show you the game as is so that you get an idea as to how good the quality of the cutscenes are and how it transitions into the gameplay and how much of a difference, or
no shit,
is there hardly a difference between these cutscenes and the gameplay? I can say for this game there is a difference, and you'll get to see that in a short while. So the cutscene is fabulous. Everything looks sharp. Great graphics, and it kind of sets the tone of the game in a good way. So you just don't have your run-of-the-mill running towards these zombies, but you also have these variations with kind of monsters like this, more like monster zombies.
welcome to the team.
It's noisy. It's a noisy game because you have to do a lot of shooting, and with the horde of zombies that come along. So okay, I'll come to that, but these are the different acts that I was talking about. So it's broken down into these various acts, and we are right in the beginning. Now this is where you choose your character. So you can choose these various characters, 4 characters to begin with. So Mom, Holly, there's Walker, and there's Evangelo. So I decided to go along with Walker, but hey, you can pick your favorite character out of the 4 that you see on screen. So there are 2 males, 2 female characters. They wanted this to be inclusive, so there's a bit of diversity on screen as well, which is appreciated, of course. Yeah, so, and diversity even in terms of age, because Mom is you could say more than a middle-aged woman, and it's good to see a middle-aged woman in the heat of the action. It's quite nice. They maintain that diversity. And yeah, so you progress by selecting your character, and then you move on. You have a choice of selecting certain cards which give you kind of a benefit. I mean, certain cards give you a benefit of health, some give you a benefit of reloading quicker, some have healing capacity, some give you additional stamina. So based on the kind of action that not exactly action, but based on the type of card that you want, you can just choose one and then progress in the game. Now, when we move over from the cutscene over to the gameplay, you can see there is a difference. All right, so there is a difference in the quality of the cutscene, and then finally the gameplay.
Take a moment, people.
You will know, and you will notice that difference. Now, there is a variety of weapons here, so you can choose from many weapons, and you would notice that as you progress in the game. There'll be a lot of crates that you would come across with loads of options when it comes to the weapons. So in that department, you will not be disappointed. So it kind of keeps you entertained because it has that variety. And as you can see on screen as well, this was another crate. So if I open this crate, I have an option of buying bullets. I can buy grenades. I can buy bullets for not just my rifle, but even for shotguns. So there are shotgun shells, and then there are those heavy, loaded machine guns, etc. Sniper guns, all of it. I mean, you name it, you got it, kind of a scenario. All right. So you've got rifles, pistols, sniper guns, shotguns. You've got grenades. You've got health kits. You've got medikits, everything's in there. So if you've got the money to spend on it, well, you can spend on it. Now this game, as you can see, by the movement, I don't know if you can tell, but this game runs a smooth 60 FPS on the Xbox Series S. Now it does look sharp, so I'm assuming that it's running at around 1400 p. So you can say 1440p, but I think it's got a dynamic resolution going for it. So in some scenes, I think it drops down to say about 1200 to 1440p. I think that's the range on the Series S, but that is respectable, given that this is the Series S that we're talking about. And even with the 1440p that it maxes out at on the Xbox Series S, it still has a respectable 60 FPS, something that you will appreciate, especially for games like this. Now, I have mentioned this in my previous videos as well. If you are playing shooter games like first-person shooters or even third-person shooters for that, you will appreciate the additional frame rates. It does come handy when it comes to games like this. And this is not a story-driven game, like I said at the start of this video. So you need those extra or additional frame rates. It will come handy. And as you can see, it is super smooth. I did not experience any frame drops in terms of my game time. Now I did play about an hour and a half. That's because I'm not a fan of first-person games myself. I prefer third-person games, but it kept me hooked for the first 1.5 hours, you can say. So that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Now the action also pretty straightforward. You've got a variety of weapons that you can actually choose from, and all you do is move from one location to the other. So you have to get to the safe house. All right, so that's the objective. So you start at an X point, and then from that X point, you have to go on to, let's say, point Y, and that point Y is the safe house. So these different acts are that straightforward. It's as simple as going from point X to point Y and surviving the horde of zombies that will be thrown at you. Pretty simple. And while you're doing that, there are no cutscenes that you break into. So you start from point X to point Y, no disturbance. It's full-on gameplay, full-on action. No, cutscenes will interrupt your gameplay. Some may appreciate that, some may not appreciate that. This is, of course, subjective. Now, I enjoy stories in games, so I do not mind cutscene-heavy games, and I, in fact, enjoy them. I'd be honest. This game, well, it's all action, very little storytelling. But if you're in for games like that, like what you're watching on screen, well, hey, you're gonna have a ball of a time, because this will satisfy or satiate that need of yours for pure gameplay action. And like I was saying, you have 4 characters. So in case you're playing, with a friend, if you're doing this online, that you can have everybody participating, kind of communicating with you as you're playing this game. So that's the fun element of playing co-op, and you can have your friends and family members join in in this fun of killing zombies together. But if you want to play solo, well, there's that option as well. Like I am doing that right now. You have, the other three players on screen who are nothing but, computer players. So they will kind of move along with you. They will help you as you move from point X to point Y. So yeah, in terms of enemies, right? I mean, there is a variety of zombies that you will come across. Zombies who are fast, zombies who are slow, zombies who are big, and even the level design, everything looks sharp. The zombies themselves, you can say they're kind of boring because they all look the same. But hey, you can't expect much when you have this giant group or this horde of zombies being thrown at you. So that's kind of expected. I'm just being nitpicky maybe. But yeah, in terms of level design, it's great. I mean, as you can see, everything is quite detailed. There's a lot of detailing, from the paintings to the light on top to, the furniture, the broken walls, etc. There's a lot going on screen. And look at those particle effects, when something just explodes on screen. There is this plasma gooey type blood that gets splashed on screen along with those sparks from the bullets. And like I said, this is a noisy game, so if you're playing this, you might as well plug in your headphones, or it will disturb the people around, because man, these zombies are loud. So far so good. Again, like I said, the frame rate is a brilliant 60 FPS. And as far as the graphics go as well, while I was playing this on my Series S, to me everything looked kind of sharp, because I think the difference between 1080p to 1440p, well, you can make that out. And if a game is running at 900p, for instance, because on the original Xbox One, there are games which actually kind of play in 900p as well, you can make out that the sharpness of the characters, there's aliasing as well. So there are a lot of details which are lost. This game does not have that, because like I said, I think it hovers between 1200 to 1400p. For most of it, I think this runs at 1400p. But when there are scenes where there are a lot of activities happening, like a lot of particle effects, a lot of zombies on screen, I think that's when the resolution kind of drops down a little. But I think it does not drop below 1200p, because it looks like 1200 to 1400p to me. I'm not sure, I haven't checked this, I'm just saying this by the way the game looks. What I'm seeing on screen, I feel like it's 1200 to 1400p. But feel free to check it out, and do let me know in the comment section as well whether I was right or not. In terms of the frame rate, I kind of can definitely make out that this is 60 FPS, because it feels smooth.
Bandages.
Really smooth. And that is something that the Xbox Series S delivers so beautifully.
That's what I want.
Even in some games, with 1080p, like a full HD, if you've got like a full HD monitor, and you've got a 144 hertz monitor, man, you're gonna have a blast of a time, because this shines when it comes to the frame rates. This Series S shines, really shines. So
Come on, you need to keep moving.
yeah, the one thing that I didn't like about this whole thing about opening the crate, it just takes so long for you to open the crate. It's kind of press and hold the button, and you have to wait for a long time. So that's something that I didn't really enjoy. See, again, even if I move over to the other crate, you'll see that now you can allow the other players to heal you, like Mom was healing me right now. In this case, this character bot Mom, which is a bot literally, because it's a computer player. And again, you see that opening of the crate, it takes a long time. And for a fast-paced action game like this, I think that should have been snappy as well. I mean, You're moving around in 60 FPS, and then you stand still and wait for the crate to open up. That takes long. It kind of takes away from that overall experience. So but again, maybe I'm just being nitpicky. I don't know, I don't play a lot of first person games. I just do this for you lovely folks so that I can share my experience as to what the graphics, the resolution, or the load times of this game is like. And by the way, speaking of load times, did you even feel that there was a load time when I started the game? Well, hey, because there is hardly any. That's another thing that the Xbox Series S really shines in, and that's the load times. They're hardly there. Oh yeah, keep them coming. The horde of zombies. When you saw the different acts that were there, to me again, unless there is storytelling, it kind of becomes monotonous, because I know that whatever I'm going through right now in this Act 1, I'll have to repeat the same activity across all the different acts. Just mindless shooting of zombies. Keep on shooting. So again, some people enjoy that. I personally do not. So if you do enjoy games like this, you're gonna have a blast. But if you are into games which have that storytelling element as well, I think you can give this a miss. But in terms of the production values,
You got lucky.
it is great. I mean, the game developers, they've done a great job. In my first 1.5 hours, I did not face any issue. There were no hanging issues, no frame drops, no stutters, nothing. No screen tearing, nothing. It was a blast from that perspective. I mean, everything was smooth. It was a smooth experience, and it's not a bad game. It's just that different people like different types of games.
Always count on you.
Can we?
So yeah, I'm just showing you the lighting effect here as well. And if you know me, you know the the part where I tell you that I absolutely love the way developers use lighting in a game, because it actually kind of improves the overall ambience of the place, the overall look of the characters as well. Again, this opening of the crate experience, man, it was a pain, you can say. And again, so many options, and it gives you clear stats on your screen. And as far as the UI goes, pretty straightforward. On the right hand side, you have all the different weapons that you can toggle between. You have your medikit, and on the left hand side you have your various other players, and their health bar is also clearly displayed. So you don't just have other characters healing you, but you also can heal other characters in this game. If you've got a medipack, if you've got a band-aid, anything, you can heal these other bot characters on screen. So that way, your team is intact, and you get additional support when it comes to fighting these zombies.
Now who's running? Still me, isn't it?
So we're almost coming to the end of this game. Again, pretty straightforward experience. I keep using that word straightforward because it is pretty straightforward. There are no complications whatsoever. Once you start this game, at one point you'll end this game at some other point. There will be no interruptions, nothing that'll come between you except for a bunch of zombies, you can say, whole bunch of zombies. So that's what you will encounter in the game. And yeah, the additional frame rates definitely help. 60 FPS. Don't shoot these birds, because it's just gonna call a whole other lot of zombies. So you gotta be careful. Whenever you see birds on screen, these crows, these zombie type crows, you better stay away from them. And again, the use of lighting is excellent. As you can see on screen, that light from that lamppost that's coming through, or the overall light design, the light bouncing off this metal crate that I was standing on.
Is anyone still out there? We need help.
Sometimes you can just, move from one place to the other without even doing any shooting. Like, we were not doing a lot of shooting here, or at least I was not doing a lot of shooting here. I could simply, move from one place to the other. If I just do like a speed run, I can easily move
Stick to
from
the center and you'll be fine.
the place where you saw those birds over to the other place without even doing a lot of shooting. So it all depends, you know, if you like action, if you want to make sure that you get those skills on your screen, you know, when the level ends, it'll give you a like this counter of how many zombies you might have killed. So if you want that, if you want to have a very high number of zombies that you kill, well, go ahead, you know, indulge yourself is what I can say. But if you just want to get from one point to the other, you don't need to do a lot of shooting. You're done. Well, that brings me to the end of this video. Do let me know, you know, what you think of this. Thank you so much for watching, and like I always say, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like and subscribe. It definitely helps with the YouTube algorithm, and share it with your friends and family members as well. And until we meet again in the next video, folks, this is me signing off, and like every other video of mine, I will say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all. And that's it. Close the door and we're done. Stage completed. Alrighty, folks, so that's pretty much it, you know, that I've got in store for you, and I will see you again in the next video, folks. So enjoy yourself, keep gaming, guys, keep gaming. You know, a lot of games on discounts as well. You know, an exciting month ahead, November and December. So keep enjoying, keep gaming, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.